Stanza 76. 76. Praja shochanti yat kinchit tasameva bhavedidam na sarvatma drishostiti prahai tadati sashutihi. All the sorrows and the limitations of all living beings exclusively belong to them only and not to this Sarvatma Drik. Sarvatma Drik, Jnani, who is a Jivan Muktaha, so has got its attention only the Ananda aspect, in the sense his attention is focused on Brahma Sarupa, which is Ananda itself, which gives all the Vishayananda, and not on all affliction, sorrows, etc. pertaining to all various embodiments. This is also told by the very same Shruti, Sashruti, that Saptanna Brahmana Shruti from Brihadaranyaka 1.5.20. Further, to this effect, that all the doshas, defects, sorrows, etc. pertaining to the embodiment are not going to afflict the Jnani who has got the Sarvatma Bhava. He is further elaborated by citing the observations and the statements of those people who are adept in imparting the Brahma Jnana. So that is Sarvajnani, who is Jivan Mukta now, he is free from all Deha Dosha. Deha Dosha Rahitya is there. Again, Sukha Matra Grahana is there. Only his attention is focused on the Sukha, means Ananda aspect. To this, the statements of the Acharya, what type of Acharyas? Brahma Bodha Kushala, those who are adept in imparting the knowledge of Brahma, those who are very skillful in imparting Brahma Vidya. Of such Acharyas, statements are being cited as a pramana, as a to validate what was said so far. Sarvatmatvepi dehadi dosha lepo namestihi adushta surya bhayadvat chandaladistu Anvaya Sarvatmatve Dehadi Dosha Lepaha Me Nahi Asti Me Nahi Asti Yadvat Chandaladi Yadvat Chandaladi Sprut Api Asau Surya Bha Adushta ad asti. Adushta ad asti. So this is a declaration of a Jivan Mukta. And he gives illustration also how he is not afflicted by the sorrows of all the embodiments, though he has got Sarvatma Bhava. Before that, one more thing we can see, why Ajnani is subject to sorrow. Ajnani has got so many desires. So many desires means what? So many sense objects he to acquire, aggrandize, indulge in, so that he can gain the happiness. But when you are going to procure something, you are also prone to lose same thing in course of time or other things. So any union is bound to be infested with disunion, that is, combination has got separation. association has got disassociation. So therefore, the ajnani is subjected to sorrow. This you can see in the English note below your stanza 76. Grief results on account of this disassociation from pleasant objects. This implies a difference between the one who is disassociated from the other. But for the one who sees his own self everywhere, there cannot be disassociation from anything, and as such, there is no possibility of grief in his case. Sanyogaha viprayogantaha. This is a famous statement. Any sanyoga is what? Viprayogantaha, ends with separation. And separation means sorrow. Separation from the dear and near object or being is bound to spell sorrow. This is the case of ajnani, whereas jnani has nothing to do with anything whatsoever in the world. He has nothing to get from the world because his swarupa itself is Paramananda Swarupa. Well, Anvaya we have seen of 77. Sarvatmatve api. So this jnani who has discovered the Sarvatma Bhava, that my Swarupa Atma is the Swarupa of all being, it is the same Atma, same Brahma, even though Sarvatmatve, though he is the Atma of one and all, Dehadi dosha lepaha me nahi asti. I am not tainted by the defects of Deha Adi, Deha, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi, Prana. So these defects are not going to afflict me. Me means who? Me who is a Jivan Muktaha. So one who has got Jnana Nishtha. So to me, so all these defects of body, etc., the defects of gross body, subtle body, causal body is not there at all because Atmadna removes the Ajnana. Me nahi asti, they are not at all there. And therefore, I am least concerned, I am least affected, or I am least associated with all the sorrows arising from Dehadi. To this, an illustration is being given. Yadvat, just as Chandaladisprut api asau suryabha. Asau suryabha. This sun ray, these sun rays, the light of the sun, Chandaladisprut api. Suppose the sun is shining and a Chandala, Asprashya, in olden days it is considered to be dirty person, etc., and therefore should not be touched. Or any filthy things, let us say, Adi. Adi stands for any filthy things. Some filth is there. So now the rays, do they touch the Chandala or the filthy or not? Certainly. Rays are everywhere. So therefore, even though the sun rays touch a Chandala or any filthy thing, impure thing, they don't take unto itself the impurity. So therefore, asau surya bha, this sun ray or sunlight, even though it touches Chandala or some filthy thing, it is always adushta, free from blemish, free from impurity, free. Impurity of what? Impurity of those things in whose contact it has come with. So for here Chandala or filthy things, etc., sunlight has nothing to do with that, it is totally free from them. So this Sarvatma, Ajnani, who is Atma, who is abiding in all the embodiment, is totally free from all those doshas pertaining to their embodiment, psychic, etc. Another reason why he doesn't have such defects. For example, Shoka, Moha are for what? sorrows. This person wanted something, he could not get it, or somebody opposed his efforts, and as a result of it, he is not able to get, or he is losing what he has got. He has got angry. Now, desire, anger, etc. are for what? You should always keep in mind, or you can certainly discover this, that whether it is a desire or whether it is anger, all these things are towards something or someone other than ourselves. No one has got desire for oneself, no one is angry with oneself. So that being the case, in the case of the Jnani, everything is Atma Swarupa, everything is Brahma Swarupa, there is nothing other than his own Swarupa. What he can desire for, or what with whom can he be angry. So therefore there is no occasion for Kama, Krodha, etc. for the Jnani, and therefore none of these doshas can affect him. Brahmadya stavarantaye pranino me vapusmrutaha kama krodhadayo doshaha jayeranme kutonyataha. ये ब्रह्माद्याः स्थावरान्ताः प्राणिनः add T further मे वपुः स्मृताः मे वपुः स्मृताः अन्यतः कामक्रोधादयः दोषाः मे कुतः जायेरन्. अन्यतः कामक्रोधादयः दोषाः मे कुतः जायेरन्. This is observation of a Jivan Mukta Brahmajnani. ये ब्रह्माद्याः स्थावरान्ताः प्राणिनः, ये प्राणिनः, all creatures, all living beings. But who are they? Brahmadyaha, beginning from Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha, Stavarantaha, ending with any inert object in the world. All these ye pranina in a sthavar. Of course, here sthavar is not inert thing. Sthavara stands for tree, because praninaha is told. So, from Hiranyagarbha up to any bush, or that a creeper, so like this, up to any insignificant living being, creature, all these praninaha, te me vapuhu smrutaha. Do you know what they are? They constitute my embodiment. Being Sarvatma, the Atma of all, what is the embodiment? All embodiments belong to him. What is the name for that? The one who has got all the gross embodiments, Virat. So if you take into account the gross physical body, because Prarabdha is still continuing, he is Virat Swarupa. If you take into account the subtle body, he is who? Hiranyagarbha Swarupa. All bodies belong to him. There is nothing other than him. So therefore, Pranite, all these Brahmadya, Stavarantaha, Praninaha, these me vapuh smrutaha. They are considered as what? My vapu, my body, Virat Swarupa, Hiranyagarbha Swarupa. Now the question is, what for can I have desire, or with what can I get angry? Desire can be for something other than myself. I can get angry with someone other than myself. See, when your teeth bite the tongue, what do? The teeth? Or you scold the tongue. Tongue, don't you know how to protect yourself from these monsters around you? Or do you punish the teeth because you have behaved so rudely? You have hurt this very tender tongue. Do you do that? No. Why? Both are me only. So that being the case, here there is no occasion for him to desire something other than oneself, because there is other than oneself is not there. There is no occasion for him to get angry with someone because someone other than oneself is not there. So therefore the question is, anyataha, from something other than myself, which in reality is not there, because me alone, which in Brahma Swarupa, is everything. Anyataha, kama krodhadayaha doshaha, these defects, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, which take for granted something other than myself. These defects mean to me, who is this me? One who has discovered the Sarvatma Bhava. Kutaha jayeran, from where can they be born? It is not possible, because I am everything. From this standpoint also, there is no occasion of these deha doshas afflicting the jnani. So like this, those great masters who are adept in imparting Brahma Vidya, so they have pointed out that only the Ananda Swarupa is taken to account, Ananda Swarupa in all is taken to account, and not the sorrows and defects of each and every embodiment. So this is the vision of a jnani. Ityacharya Brahma Bodha Kushala Abhavan Pura Sukhamatra Grahinotra Drishtanta Santyani Iti Brahma Bodha Kushalaha Acharyaha Pura Abhavan. Pura Abhavan. Iti Brahma Bodha Kushalaha Acharyaha Pura Abhavan. Atra Sukhamatra Grahinaha Anekashaha Drishtantaha Santi. Anekashaha Drishtantaha Santi. Iti means, as described in stanza 77 and 78, Brahma Bodha Kushalaha Acharyaha Pura Abhavan. Pura, in the past. Abhavan, there were such great masters who were adept in imparting Brahma Vidya, Brahma Bodha. They were imparting Brahma Bodha means they themselves have the Brahma Jnana, Brahma Vidya, and they had the means of imparting to others, because they were also Shrotriyaha, beside being Brahmanishtaha. So, Pura, in the past, such great masters who were adapting, imparting Brahma Vidya were there. Not only that, to this effect, that there are many instances wherein only the good or Ananda, etc., Sukha is taken into account or considered, and not the other thing which is impurity or sorrow. Atra means Sukhamatra Grahitve. Only Sukha is considered, Ananda is considered, and not the sorrow or the pains or any defects. To this effect, Sukhamatra Grahinaha Anekashaha Drishtantaha Santi. Sukhamatra Grahina, instances where only Sukha, Ananda is considered, taken into account. Such Anekashaha, not one or two, many Drishtantaha Santi. There are many illustrations. What are those illustrations? Two samples of Drishtanta for Sukhamatra Grahana are given in stanza 80. Vrikshe madhukara pushpa rasam grunhati netarat yatir bhikshamupadatti na shaucham kasyachid grihe. Madhukaraha vrikshe pushparasam grunhati itaratna yatibhi not yatibhi, yatihi. That sandhi is like this. Yatihi bhiksham upadatti. So take yatihi bhiksham upadatti na kasyachit grihe asaucham. Na ashaucham has become na shaucham. Na kasyachit grihe ashucham, again take upadatti. Ashaucham upadatti. Or kasyachit grihe ashaucham na upadatti. Now can be taken with upadatti instead of keeping in the beginning of the sentence. Madhukaraha, examples, two examples are there. One is that of honeybee, other that of a yati, a sannyasi who goes for bhiksha. Madhukaraha, honeybee, what they do? They roam around to different trees, but from the tree they take only the honey that is there in the flower. They are not at all concerned, or they don't take any other aspects of the tree. Even in the case of flower also. Even in the case of flower, they are bothered about the petals and all those. They are on their mind, their attention is focused only on the honey, and they don't take to anything other than the honey. So madhukaraha vrikshe, from the tree, in the tree means from the trees. Pushparasam grunhati, takes what? Pushparasa, the essence of the flowers means the honey. Itarat na grunhati, any other thing than that it doesn't take to. So therefore, what is it that takes only the honey and nothing other than that. So also this jnani takes sukhamatra and not sorrows or defects. Other example is this. Yatihi, a sannyasi. Of course, here he goes for bhiksha. He has to sustain the body. He has to survive on the bhiksha, the food that comes to, that he gets from different houses. Bhiksham upadatti, he receives the bhiksha. Whatever bhiksha given, he accepts. Whereas kasyachit grihe, suppose he has gone for bhiksha to someone's house, let us say there is some impurity. Impurity in the house because of somebody died or something, or some sorrows, etc. are there. So kasyachit grihe ashaucham na upadatti. Whatever impurity is there in that house or in those persons, he doesn't take to oneself. He is free from that. So this is the norm of Shastras, that a sannyasi is permitted to take bhiksha from different houses. So from that standpoint, so only the bhiksha, the food offered he receives, and he has nothing to do with the sorrows or papa, etc. He has nothing to do with that. That way, the jnani jivan mukta is only sukhamatra grahi, considers takes into account only the sukha, the ananda that is there in the case of all the different types of embodiment. So you remember now, all this section is for what? The question was, if Jnani Jivan Muktaha is Uttamaha Purusha, in reality, Paramarthataha, a Jnani also, a Mudha also is Uttamaha Purusha. What is the distinction between Mudha Aviveki, Ajnani and a Jnani? So the distinction was being shown in terms of he is getting the Ananda, Paramananda, Ananda that is behind all Ishayandas. At the same time, he has nothing to do with the sorrows. So in that context, how this Jnani has Pakshapata, a liking for, a love for the Ananda and not for sorrow was described. Here also again a similar question can come. We agree that this Jnani has got Pakshapata, Ananda, that is liking or partiality or liking or love for Ananda. Is it not true for Ajnani also? Is there any Ajnani who would like to have sorrows? Who would love to have sorrows? No. So that again there is no distinction between them. Jnani also loves Ananda, likes Ananda. Ajnani also has the same liking, same love. So that is the case. Again it amounts to say that there is no distinction. Well, it is accepted that Ajnani also loves Ananda. But there is a distinction. What distinction? Jnani likes Ananda, loves Ananda, and he is able to cognize directly and very clearly Ananda, that is his Swarupa. And as you say, if Ajnani also likes Ananda, let him also discover the Ananda Swarupa directly. Why this Ajnani, if he likes Ananda, if he loves Ananda, why should he run after the sense object to get paltry joy instead of directly discovering his Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa? Therefore, let Jnani also discover the Paramananda Swarupa, if he also has got liking for Ananda. Murkhasyapi sukhe paksha. Take this way. Murkhasyapi sukhe pakshapataha. Asti tyuchyate yadi. Tarhi tasya prasidhyartham tattvam sopyavagacchatu. Yadi murkhasyapi sukhe pakshapataha asti iti uchyate. यदि मूर्खस्यापि सुखे पक्षपातः अस्ति इति उच्यते तर्हि तस्य प्रसिद्ध्यर्थं सः अपि तत्त्वम् अवगच्छतु. If you say so, yadi in case you argue like this, Murkhasyapi, in the case of a Murkha, Ajnani, Mudha, Aviveki, who knows not Atma Swarupa. Sukhe Pakshapata, he has liking for Sukha, Ananda, iti Uchyate. If you say, if you argue so, Tarhi, in that case, Tasya Prasidhyartham. Tasya means Sukhasya. For that Sukhasya Prasidhyartham means for a clear experience. Sahati, let that aviveki murkha also tattvam avagat, the bull or the horse employed to pull the cart or the chariot. Evameva, in the same manner, ayam refers to pranaha. Pranaha in the sense, the prajnatma identified with the upadhi. Prajnatma, the Swayam Prakasha Jyoti Atma, now identified with the upadhi, means along with the upadhi. Of course, no more identification, the body is there, but still the upadhi, according to prarabdha, continues, and therefore, so here the prana, ayam stands for the prana, which is there in the embodiment, and where is it? Asmin sharire, that prana is asmin sharire yuktaha, is employed. That ayam is prana, asmin sharire means which? This embodiment, where earlier the prajnatma was identified. Prana is prana, no question of identification of the body. It is abiding in the body. Then asmin sharire, in this body. What is asmin sharire? The prajnatma, the Swayam Jyoti Atma, who hitherto was identified with this upadhi and was parading as the jiva. So, that prana which is yuktaha, niyuktaha, enjoined in this body, as per what? As per swakarma, one's own karma, for phalabhoga, yuktaha, swakarma phalabhoga nimitte niyuktaha, enjoined, employed, for what? Swakarma phalabhoga nimitte, on account of experiencing one's own prarabdha karma. So niyukta. In this manner, the deha yatra of this jivan mukta continues on account of the prana that is abiding in the embodiment. And that prana is there in the embodiment as per the law of karma phala, law of karma. So this is what is going to protect the body. To explain this, the doubt for which this Shruti serves as the answer is first posed. There, a correction is there in the stanza 83. Tadatmyasya smrutau. See, in your book, tadatmyasya is there. Tadatmyasya amruta is there. It is not amrutau, smrutau. All that you have to do is correct the mru to smru. Smrutau. Take the stanza. Tadatmyasyam smrutau deha nirvaho neti chet shruno ashvadineva pranena preritam rakshate vapuhu. तादात्म्यस्य अस्मृतौ देह निर्वाहः न इति चेत् शृणु अश्वादिना इव प्राणेन प्रेरितं वपुः रक्ष्यते. प्राणेन प्रेरितं वपुः रक्ष्यते. Tadatmyasya amrutau. If tadatmya, if identification with the embodiment is not remembered. For example, this Jivan Mukta is hungry and he is now Prarabdhavashat is not lost in Samadhi. If he is lost in Samadhi, he is not aware of the body. He is aware of the body and the world, and he is hungry. Now, for hunger, what he has to do, to appease the hunger, what he has to do? He has to eat the food, for which he should know this is the food, this he should remember, this food can appease my hunger. I have to take it and put in which mouth? Whose mouth it has to be put? Sarvatma Bhava is there? No. Can he put anybody's mouth? No. He has to put specifically in his own mouth. For that, Dehatadhatmya, identification in the body is required or not? This is me, this is my body, at least this is my body is required, that notion is required or not? And you say he has no Dehatadhatmya with the body, and therefore that if that is the case, how Tadatmyasya asmrita? If a body identification is not remembered, Deha Nirvaha, the continuance of the body, Deha Yatra, that is the travel of this body, no itiche, will not take place. It will not be possible for the body to continue because this person doesn't have identification in the body. Itiche, if that is the doubt, Shrunu, here is the answer. An illustration is given. Ashvadina iva, like the horse, etc., means bull, etc. Pranena preritam vapuhu rakshate. This vapuhu, this embodiment of this Jivan Mukta, Jnani Jivan Mukta, pranena preritam, prompted by, propelled by, prana, rakshate, is protected. Pranas still continue, they sustain the body. Pranena vapuhu, pranena preritam vapuhu rakshate. So, how that Ashvadina iva, that illustration, that is explained now in the next stanza, which refers to Sahayatha Prayogyaha, that Prayogya used in the Shruti earlier, 8.12.3, which is referred here as Ashvadina iva, is now being explained, means the Drishtanta of Prayogya, what is called as Ashvadi, is being explained. Rathe prayogya yogyoshvaha shikshita sarathim vina swayameva sadabhyasa gantavyam prapayet khalu. Sadabhyasat, alternate reading is there. Sadabhyasat, you can Sadabhyasat. Rathe prayoga yogyaha shikshitaha ashvaha sarathim vina sada abhyasat swayam eva gantavyam khalu prapayet. Illustration is like this. See, an ashvaha, a horse. What type of horse? Prayogya yogya, a horse which is fit to be tied to a chariot or a cart. Means it has got strength enough, not emaciated, which is infested with disease and going to die at any moment. Not that one. That is a fit horse, prayoga yogya, that is fit to be yoked to a chariot. A horse which is fit to be yoked to a chariot or a cart. So Ratha, here it is chariot only because Ratha is said, not Shakata. So here Ratha is told, refer to the chariot. So Yathe prayoga yogya, horse, but all horses will not be able to drive the chariot just like that. They should be trained. So therefore it is Shikshitaha Ashvaha. Shikshitaha, a trained horse. What does the horse do? So it is trained to pull the cart, drive the cart, and now for a long period it is doing that job, and it is now totally accustomed to that job by habit. So if required at times, Sarathim Vina, even if the charioteer is not there, let us say the chariot is going daily between 2 points, 2 places, and the route is set, and every day the charioteer is driving the chariot to that and return to that, and he may be taking the passengers to and fro. So now, because of Sada Abhyasa, without, suppose even if the chariot is not there, Sadabhyasa, because of this repetition of taking the chariot and bringing to between 2 places, because of that regular, Sadabhyasa means by regular proper practice, Swayameva itself, what is that itself? Sarathim Vina, without the charioteer. Khalu, indeed, it is very well known. Gantavyam prapaye, it will take you to the destination. It will take you to the destination because it is so trained, and by sheer habit it will take you to the destination. Here in the place of Sada Abhyasa, Sadabhyasa is there. And the translator in his note gives more weight to Sadabhyasa than Sadabhyasa. I don't think it is that way necessary as such. His contention is, even if a horse is trained, if it is a bad horse, it will not take to the destination. Of course, that is true. If it is a bad horse, even if the charioteer is there, it is difficult for the charioteer to take to the destination. It has to beat and put forth, the charioteer has to beat, etc., to take the chariot to the destination. That is fine. So when here, for that is a Sadabhyasa. By good, that means the horse has to be good. Now, the horse has to be good. What practice you are going to do? That is the nature. Of course, with charioteer, with love, may tend the horse in such a way that the horse reciprocates the love. That is okay. But when Abhyasa is said, it is a practice of pulling the only, and of course, it has to be taken for granted. We are talking of a chariot which has got good practice. At the same time, it has right disposition to take, and not a unruly horse that has to be taken. So that way, Sada Abhyasat seems to be a better reading. So just as a horse yoked to a chariot by practice takes the passengers or whoever they are or the chariot to the required destination even without the charioteer. So here pranas take care of the body and take the body to the places where bhoga is there. In the books of history, especially in India we have heard some, that means case of some great horses who, when they found that their master is injured or he has fainted on the horse, without any instruction, they run away from the battlefront to keep the master safe and take to a safe place or where the master can be treated. Such instances are there. How is it? Because that is that love for that horse and cares for the master, and it has, because that from the very touch that the master has fallen on its body, it comes to know there is some danger, and what is the battlefront, etc. By experience it knows, and therefore takes to a safe place. So like this, horses have got that much of understanding. And here is a horse which is not unruly, which has got the practice of pulling the chariot, and it takes on its own without the charioteer the destination. Fine. Without the charioteer, the horse takes the chariot to the destination, but it is yoked to the chariot by whom? The owner or the charioteer, is it not? The question comes, in the case of Jivan Mukta, who has enjoined this prana to take care of the body of the Jivan Mukta? So let us know. That is, in Drishtanta, the horse drives the chariot without the charioteer. In now Darshtanta, how it is applicable? How do you say that this, the prana, so without the jiva who was earlier identified with the embodiment, is able to take care of the body? That is explained. Ishvarenasya dehasya preranaya niyojitaha pranastattatbhogadeshe deham nayati karmana. Asya dehasya preranaya Ishvarena pranaha niyojitaha. Add saha pranaha karmana tattad bhogadeshe deham nayati. Asya dehasya preranaya. Asya dehasya. Who is this asya? Of this person, Jivan Muktasya. Of this person who is Jivan Mukta, dehasya preranaya, for preranaya, for the maintenance, continuance of his body, means for the continuance and sustenance of the body of the Jivan Mukta, Ishvarena, by none other than Ishvara, who is Karma Dhyaksha, Karma Phaladata. So by him, Ishvarena, Pranaha, the prana, is niyojitaha, is employed, is enjoined. And that prana, saha pranaha, the prana who is enjoined by Ishvara to sustain the body, what does it do? Tat bhogadeshe, to the different places of bhogas. Whatever required bhoga is necessary or is wanted for this embodiment to continue and sustain, to those places that prana, what does it do? Karmana. Karmana in accordance with the prarabdha karma. Karmana in accordance with the prarabdha karma. Tat bhoga deshe. The different places where the bhoga required for the body is available. Deham nayati, carries the body. The prana takes the body on its own to the different places of bhoga or its requirement to continue the body. So it is prana's job because Ishvara has enjoined the prana to do this job. And for that reason, there is no concern for the Jivan Mukta for the sustenance of the body. Actually, Jivan Mukta is not aware of the body. But by prarabdha, when he is aware of the body, even at that time, he has no concern. Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu. It is the karma that sustains the body, Vivek Chudamani. It sustains the body and it gets governed by the laws of karma of Ishvara. So, it is not a matter of concern. What is not a matter of concern? Sustenance the body is not a matter of concern for a Jivan Mukta, because the body gets sustained like a child in mother's womb. Does the child in the womb think that how will I survive, etc.? It is taken care of. So on its own, likewise, here the body of the Jivan Mukta is being taken care of by prana in accordance with the karma, prarabdha karma phala. So it should not be a matter of concern, chinta. Garbhasthanam cha balanam nirvaho vapusho yatha jivan muktasya dehepi nirvahasya tatha na kim yatha garbhasthanam cha balanam vapushaha nirvahaha